All right, everyone, it is Friday, and what does that mean? It is time for Manufacturing E-commerce Success. I am so excited. I didn't even run the intro video today, Kurt.
Dude,
how's everyone doing?
You threw me off with that one.
I know I did, didn't I? I did myself. We were running right up to the time. Dan, sorry, we might have been a minute late. We were getting a little technical difficulty worked out here, but hey, let's get started. I'm one of your co-hosts, Damon Pastolka. That guy way over there is Kurt Anderson, and we're going to let him take it away because we're going to have some fun today talking about the power of strategic parts management. Let's go, man. Take it away, Kurt.
All right, dude, let's do this. So happy Friday, everybody. Welcome. What an absolute honor, privilege to be here. Man, we have a dynamic panel. We got all these handsome dudes. Damon, I can't handle it. I'm not sure to do myself right now. So, all right, let's run around the room right here. We've got my buddy Andrew Hood from CADENA's Partsolutions. Andrew, happy Friday to you. We've got Zach Kennedy right smack in the middle from Mac Trailer. Zach, give a wave, give a shout out. We've got Mike Rennie, this handsome dude underneath me here. He is our friend to the north. He's with Adaptability. So we have a ton of exciting things to talk about here today. So happy Friday. We've got Dan, Whitney, John. Guys, if you're out there, give us a hello. Let us know that you're with us today. You absolutely want to connect with Mike, with Zach, with Andrew. We have a ton to go over today. So, Andrew, I'm going to start off with you, my friend. So, first question, Damon, I'm changing gears a little bit. We have our other question that we usually ask. We're going to talk heavy duty manufacturing today. So I'm kicking things off with manufacturing. Andrew, why is manufacturing so important? This is a hot topic that we're going to be talking about bringing IT solutions that you guys bring to the market. Why is manufacturing so important to you, your career, your community? Why is manufacturing so important?
Yeah, I grew up, learning about manufacturing from my home state of Indiana, and just learning from the industry. I had the opportunity to tour probably a couple hundred different shops, machine shops, fab shops in my time in the sheet metal space. And fabrication or manufacturing is so critical to the U.S. and North America because it's really a driver for the rest of the economy. Everything else kind of goes downstream of manufacturing. If we can't manufacture and continue to increase that in North America, then we're going to struggle. And so I just see, the results of manufacturing, the hard work that people put into it, actually create something concrete that people can, deliver on, and that's important.
Absolutely. So, guys, again, join us here today. I've dropped Mike, Zach, and Andrew. I've dropped their LinkedIn profile, so you want to connect with these guys. My friend Zach Kennedy, I'm assuming probably related some way or another to the Kennedys, right? But you're the Kennedys of Ohio, the great Buckeye State. So, same question to you, my friend. Why is manufacturing so important?
I think it's important because it's good to see things made, here, especially in Ohio and U.S., wherever I've been. Manufacturing's always been interesting, to be a part of the process and see something come out of that when it's built, and having a hand in that and making other people's lives easier in that process is kind of how I built my career. And I'm an IT guy, but I've had roles from quality assurance and engineering and business analysis, clear into pretty heavy duty IT stuff. So I've always just had a passion for improving processes, and there's always stuff you can improve in manufacturing. So that's kind of why it's important to me.
Absolutely. So, Damon, he's a Kent State guy, and so he's doing a great job. He's an IT guy at heart, and it's just great. We talk about manufacturing, all the incredible opportunities in different aspects. This is not our grandma and grandfather's manufacturing anymore, and Zach's going to share some powerful things going on at Mac Trailer. Yes, sir, Damon.
There, I was funny when you talk about that in manufacturing. I was reading a book. It's actually an older book, but they are talking about the fact that 95+% of people in manufacturing are actually in the services business because the other people are building, everybody else is supporting.
is supporting. I love that. I tell you, let that one sink in for a minute, right? There's just so much opportunity in manufacturing. All the cool kids are in manufacturing. We're seeing that right here on this panel discussion here. So, hey, we're going to go up to Toronto. We have our dear friend, Mike Rennie from Adaptability. And Mike, give us a little taste of manufacturing. I believe you have a family business. Talk about how important manufacturing is to you, your family, your community, your career. Let's go there for a minute.
Yeah, no, great question, and I'm happy to answer. So, yeah, we've been manufacturing here in Canada since 1998, and our operation has grown a few times over since then.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean the benefits range everywhere from the economy. Anytime you're taking raw materials and marking them up, doing the value added process, it's great for the economy. You have a whole, supply chain network of value added suppliers and vendors, platers, specialty metal suppliers. So it's a big community here. It did take a hit for a number of years. So we had to kind of pivot between producing most of our product to some of our product, and we had to get really picky and creative with which jobs that we take on in our own facility, and then we outsource some. So we're a captive shop. We have the luxury of picking and choosing what jobs they get, but the range of benefits extend all the way from us internally here. It really helps with our skill sets here and just general knowledge of the industry when you have people working in thread standards and CAD detailing, and it's really upped our game in terms of being a high-tech, high-quality manufacturer. And then it goes all the way to our customers. The supply chain issues the last 2 to 3 years, we've just come out winning every single time. It's not every single one of our customers who relies on a rapid manufacturing facility, but some of them do. And there's a cross-section of customers, especially in the OEM field, which we typically didn't get a lot of business from. We mostly deal with distributors, but now we opened up that cross-section. The list of benefits can go on and on and on. It's prestige for our employees. It's really a badge of honor for them too. Everyone's proud to be a manufacturer.
You know what? Let's let that one sink in, Damon. Prestige. I absolutely love that. And just, think about the pride of the employees and that prestige, that badge of honor, Mike. I love that. Man, we have the chat boxes on fire today.
Yeah.
We've got Nicole is here today. We've got Dan Bigger, Whitney, guys, everybody out there. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have a great, we're going to take a deep dive into IT solutions at manufacturers. Again, drop us a note, drop a little note in the chat box
here. Yeah.
You want to connect with Zach. We want to connect with Andrew. You want to connect with Mike. Now we're going to geek out, man. We're going to talk, Damon. This is, oh my God, I couldn't even sleep last night. I've been so excited about this conversation with these guys. We're going to take a deep dive into e-commerce solutions. We're going to talk about configurators, my favorite word. So Andrew Hood, my friend, I had the honor privilege. I met Andrew in person, Damon. We were at they put on an amazing part. Man, I'll tell you, Andrew, you guys throw a mean party. We were at the great program, the Industrial Summit in Cleveland back in September. And Andrew's a big dude, man. I had a great time hanging out with Andrew, his team at CADENAS PARTsolutions. So, Andrew, please share, anybody out there that's not familiar with CADENAS PARTsolutions, share your superpowers and how you make the world a better place. Let's go there.
Yeah, it's exciting for me in my career, being able to kind of work with different types of customers, right? And we have two sides of our business. We have the one side, you mentioned the configurators, the online access, the ability to spec out the exact SKU you need, and then get the CAD you need, right, for the engineering audience. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're partnering with Mike and the guys at Adaptability for. And we've done that with thousands of other manufacturers as well. But we're going to highlight Mike's examples today. And on the other side of the business, we help engineers, right? So I have an engineering background. I started off in machine design, and I've seen what it's like to commission machines and to source material and to spec out the exact supplier component you need, right? And you get a component that goes obsolete, you got to redesign the whole machine, right, or a whole section of it. And that's where we work together with Zach and the guys at Mac Trailer, leveraging our tool for help them find and reuse components. We're finding duplicates. And so my entire phrase there is just help engineers stop reinventing the wheel, right? How can we stop reinventing the wheel, be more efficient with our designs, and focus on more on the value add? You mentioned the value add. Mike did value add for manufacturing. vendors and suppliers, but think of our tool as a value add for the actual product design process as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I know you've got a line here that says you help customers develop an understanding of their own engineering part data. We have a great case study. We're going to talk about what's going on in what you've done with Matt Trailer. But before we go there, Zach, same question to you, my friend. Please share for everybody the superpowers and how you at Matt Trailer, your entire team, make the world a better place. And I want to, you know what? I'd like to talk about the founder. If I'm not, you mentioned before we went on live, founded in a garage, you have something like 1,300 employees. And the gentleman's name is Michael Connie. Did I say that right?
Connie. Yep.
Yeah. So let's share with everybody Matt Trailer. They probably see your trailers everywhere. Talk about what you guys do and how you make the world a better place.
Yeah, so you probably have seen our trailers. If you're in Canada, we sell them U.S. and Canada, from dump trailers, flatbeds, pneumatic trailers, tank trailers, even some new specialty trailers that are kind of coming online. Our industry is really helping other industries, serve the nation and what they're doing, building houses and moving grain and transferring fuel. There's a lot of different things that we do. And, we started, I think, pretty specialized, with dump trailers and kind of got into that market. And that's what our owner knew. And we just rapidly expanded. And, here we are, I think we started in 94 and we've got locations all over the US and engineering departments that are trying to design and build these trailers. And you can imagine how 20 years of parts and parts management, different facilities could get tangled up and everyone does their own thing. And we kind of got linked up with Andrew when we were talking about getting into a PLM system and using Team Center. And we realized pretty quickly that it was going to be hard to do on our own. And we have a pretty lean staff, I would say, in the tech projects area. And we started looking, how are we going to be able to identify all these redundant parts? How are we going to be able to, simplify this process and get things out there? And we were really lucky to link up with Andrew and PartSolutions, and they provided some great tools that really expedited the process and empowered us to do a lot that we couldn't do otherwise. So.
Wow, awesome. I absolutely love that. And we're going to go into like a little bit of a case study, and it's just absolutely phenomenal what you guys have, what Cadenas has done and what you and your limited staff, like you said, like you're a really lean team. And so for folks that are out there that are a little bit intimidated, overwhelmed, like how do I take this leap? So, Zach, when we get there, I'd love for you to take a deep dive. You and Andrew, we're gonna go there. Mike, I'm coming over to you, my friend. Share with everybody. Let's talk about Adaptall, your superpowers, how you guys make the world a better place. What's going on in your company, and what are the types of customers that you're working with?
Yeah, so thank you. So we're still relatively a small company. We're still under 100, just under 100 employees. So we really have to pound for pound, we have to hit a little bit harder than the next guy. So we've utilized everything technology-wise, the Internet of Things to make that happen. So with a website, you're not showing your storefront, your facility size. You can kind of hide behind that, so to speak, or make yourself look larger. So that's what we've done. We use that as a marketing tool to get our name out there, to express our strengths, and it's a convenience tool at the end of the day for us and our customers. So we've streamlined a lot of things through there. Like we have a distributor portal that we call eCommerce, and it's been incredibly helpful for us. But this is the status quo now. This is really nothing new. The pursuit of perfection or an ideal state for your website it's going to be always dynamic. If we set a point 5 years from now for where we want to be, it's going to constantly be changing and moving forward and going down the line. So that's where and why we got together with Cadenas. The next logical step for our website was to do solid modeling. There's a number of reasons for that. One, the trend. We know it's the way things are going. With the online portals, we get a little bit of a pull sales style where our customers, or end users for that matter, are going to be building our parts into their hobby projects, their It might be at an industrial level, someone building some specialty high tech stuff for heavy equipment.
Yeah.
It could be anything under the sun, and it really doesn't matter. That's going to help streamline sales through our distributors. And then we're also looking at a feature that we call build a fitting, whereby customers can build a fitting of any 2 thread concepts, male, female, T's, 90s, 45s, and based on all the standards and items we have in our database right now, it will put all those items together and visually provide the customer with an end product. All this is doing is really just streamlining what we already do. We used to take phone calls. We would draft something up. It might take a couple days. We would send them something. They would approve it. It might have to go through their engineering. I mean, now customers can send links of a solid model to their engineering team, and it just streamlines everything all the way through. And as you guys know, things like SKUs and standards can be embedded in those solid models. So
Yep.
it just makes things so much easier for us on so many levels. Now that we've started the project, I can't see any other way.
Yeah. And now you're probably wondering how on earth did you get by without it, right? So super exciting. And again, like if you want to geek out on hydraulic adapters, I believe that's your legacy, right? So if you want to geek out on hydraulic adapters, you guys need to connect with Mike. So Andrew, let's shift gears to you, my friend. So take a deep dive. You have, like you said, great career manufacturing. You've brought your talents to CADENA's Partsolutions, and you're just, working relentlessly, helping manufacturers like Mike and Zach here. So what type, and we're going to dig into, I want to really take that dive. Zach was sharing with us a really exciting part reduction that we were talking about before we went live.
Yeah.
But Andrew, talk a little bit about the company and type of manufacturers you work with, the solutions. We've talked about CAD, configurators. Let's take a little deeper dive on what you bring to the table here.
Yeah. So, a couple of things. It's been an exciting career for me, coming from engineering and learning manufacturing and all that stuff from my perspective. So I really enjoy, getting to see how I can help engineers be more efficient or just be better at their jobs and take the mundane stuff out of their way. And that's what I really enjoy about working here at Cadena is, our company's been around since early 90s, since kind of the start of CAD, 1992. Started off in Augsburg, Germany. So we're an international company, and we have our headquarters in North America here in Cincinnati, where I reside. And I think what I look to do, my goal is just to help engineers be more efficient, just to help make their jobs easier, right? So on the e-catalog side or configurator side, it's about helping, speak to that audience of engineering, getting in front of them what they need. We find a lot of companies that don't have CAD are struggling to provide that information to their customers, and they're getting beat out, right? There's a stat we have that 82% of CAD downloads turn into an actual purchase part. So it's just incredible synergy there between the actual technology and the physical sale, right? So that's a huge deal there. And that's just one stat, right? So out of each CAD download, you could have between, on average, 5 to 7 parts actually sold. So, for Mike's use case with fittings, maybe you get a download and maybe it's 20 to 30 or, a couple hundred pieces of actual hardware you're selling, right? And some of our companies use that to help them forecast for manufacturing. We got a company called Samtech in Southern Indiana. They have their downloads on there. They have tons and tons of downloads a month. And we were working with one of their IT guys, marketing and IT folks, and now he's the CTO, right? So the level of improvement his company's seen from leveraging our tool and his own personal career as well has been a huge improvement. I think you met him, Kurt, at the event in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And on the engineering side, on the OEM side, with Zach at Mac Trailer, working through reuse and savings on parts and part count and reducing part count. Every engineering manager knows that if you can reduce the part count, you can reduce costs, right? And so that's our goals. How can we help you reduce part count? But when you bring in a new part, make it as cost effective as possible. Help you know that the part has already been purchased before, it's available at this location in the warehouse, and you don't go off and buy it again, right? So the goal is to reduce costs and reduce that kind of pain of introducing new parts throughout the design life cycle.
Man, I love that. We've got some
Yeah.
folks who are dropping comments here. So Michael dropped a line earlier that he caught the demo of the configurator from Cadenas. Powerful stuff. We've got Timothy here today. Of course, Nicole. Mike Franza is here. Mike, how are you? Happy Friday. Kelly's here today. So everybody, thank you for know how busy everybody is here. But boy, this is a great conversation. Thank you for joining us here today. So Zach, let's talk about how, we were talking before we went on about how the problem you were facing, the challenges that you were encountering. You said multiple location, hundreds, just a little bit of a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of SKUs all over the country. And so you started your small, limited IT team came together, connected with Andrew. Let's go there. Walk us through that process of what was happening, how you connected with Andrew, and let's talk about the outcome.
Sure. So I think I touched on it earlier. We were looking at implementing a PLM to kind of consolidate and organize all of our information. And the thing we ran into pretty quick was we knew we were going to have duplicates. We knew we were going to have redundant parts. And it was pretty easy to identify them from a part number. We could build scripts to kind of scrub everything and look.
Yeah.
But we found examples, in very short time of parts that were nearly identical, or, maybe a thread size was slightly different between two facilities. And the part itself was the same, but the part number was different. And we started to manually try and dig through these. And then we realized we have over 1 million parts to address, and only, 2 or 3 guys to really address them. So we started looking into shape search tools. There's some other ones out there, but what we really needed, Cadena seemed to be the ones that, we jived with the most, and their team was great. And they did it at a way better price point. They were a lot more cost effective for what they offered. We only needed what we needed, and they were able to provide that. And they have, other functionality. So in addition to the scripts we had written internally, we indexed every file that we had, our engineering files, across multiple servers in Cadenas' PartSolutions program. And we were able to use that program to find like parts just on the geometry and the shape of those models without anyone having to look at them. And then we could generate those reports and then scrub those reports instead of going through a lot of data that we didn't have to. And the results of that, like I said, we had over 1 million parts. We were able in about a year's time to go down to about 300,000 parts with very few people working on this project. And
Wow.
One of them is, Nick Vergalotti. He's been a key player in this project, done a lot more of the groundwork, than I've been able to. But he's an IT guy. He has some engineering background. I have a little bit of engineering background, but he doesn't know everything that's going on. But that tool that we use through Cadena's PartSolutions, it enabled him to be effective in helping clean this up. And he didn't have to be an engineer necessarily to see, oh, these are the same part, so that was really how we got linked up. And, since working with them, we found there's a lot more going on with Cadenas that I think could benefit us. And we're kind of just in the infancy, I feel, of our relationship with them. There's a lot more that we can do. And even with this tool, identifying like parts, it's going to help us in reducing costs as we move forward, because we're not going to be buying from different suppliers at different facilities. We're going to be able to have everybody hopefully on the same page. That's the dream. I don't know if, we'll get there completely, but, we're going to work towards it. So.
Well, when you look at that too, from a design standpoint, if you've got engineers that are designing new products, if they've got a base of components to start with, your designs are going to be much more efficient, and they're going to be quicker for them to get done. And it's only going to help your supply chain. And you go through this. I mean, the fact that the solution, the Cadena solution, allows you to search by data rather than just file name is massive. I mean, we did this years ago in a company that was almost 60 years old when I was working with them, and their own products, and 20 years of back in those days before even SolidWorks, when we changed over to that, or in whatever that is now. But that's amazing that you can do it by the data, because it's so hard and so intensive to find all the things that are similar. That has to be, that's why you could go from 1 million down to 300,000.
Yep.
It's just massive.
So
Awesome.
Andrew, my friend, how on earth are you helping me reduce it 70%? Or I'm just kidding.
This is nuts.
This is such a monster, massive accomplishment. As a matter of fact, Damon, let's take it. Let's give a round of applause to Andrew, his team, and how about Zach and his team, Nick, and everybody at Mac Trailer. What a massive accomplishment! And just look at the efficiency here. So, Andrew, I want to come back to you, Mike. I'm gonna be over to you in 1 second. But Andrew, just piqued my curiosity. When you meet with a team like Mac Trailer and you're talking with Zach, and you get an understanding of their problems, their challenges. Walk us through, like, how did you accomplish this? Like, what's going on your side of things? We heard what Zach and his team are doing. How do you guys come in and tackle that side?
Yeah, we're asking questions about the process, right? What is their design process from beginning to end, and what do you guys have today in your database, right? So, understanding from Zach that they had multiple business units or BUs and different sites working on similar products. That's a key. That's a signal for us, right? Asking questions about quantity of ECOs or ECNs, or engineering change notices is the term. Tracking the quantities of those. So basically the amount of variation you have in your design workflow, right? So if you're designing new components all the time and you have a large enough team, 30, 50 plus engineers, right? You're going to see this problem over and over again. If you're smaller, you may not see it because you're not big enough yet to see the volume. Right. And so we're looking for kind of a sweet spot, right? Okay, how many engineering changes do you have? And what's the rollover look like? What's your parts look like? What kind of part types are they? What's your tech stack, right? What systems are you using today? And what's your plan going forward? And what's really cool about working with Cadena is we're very flexible, right? So we can work with many different tech stacks. It doesn't really matter what it is. So Zach's going into Team Center, which is great. It's a partner of ours at Siemens, and we're happy for them those guys to be using that tool. So my goal was, okay, you guys have identified a PLM system you want to use. How do we get you into that tool faster, right? That's your number one goal. How do we get you into that system sooner? And now they're in the process right now of importing the parts into that system. And so, our goal is how can we help them clean up, the beforehand from legacy to get into the new process. And so really asking questions like that around their workflow, around their, kind of change notice, changeover, and what their goals are long-term from engineer perspective.
I absolutely love that. Damon, can you do us a favor? Pull up not the last comment from Timothy, but the comment prior from Timothy. I'd like to have that pulled up. Dude, this is like a drop the mic, from the chat box here. Every company on earth has this problem you described. Some just don't get it, would rather turn a blind eye. It is so much easier to do nothing and just keep doing it. This is how we've always done it. Timothy, thank you for that comment. And that's why I just absolutely love this. So, Mike, I want to come over to you now. And then I want to come back because I'm going to give you a little question ahead of time, Zach and Andrew, we come around. I'm going to talk about like that resistance, that tech resistance. It gets overwhelming. It gets daunting. But Mike, walk us through, a family business. But again, 100 employees, you are not small. This is a great, incredible entrepreneurial success story with you, your company. Walk us through like what frustrations, what challenges were you facing where, it takes a lot to raise your hand and say, hey man, I need help. I need to pull in the subject matter expert, or let's partner with the trusted guide that can help us change things. Walk us through like what challenge you were facing and how you connected with Andrew.
Yeah. So no, great question. And Andrew knows I kind of sold myself on the idea probably 20 minutes into the meeting.
Yeah.
Based on one thing. I mean, it's really just opportunity cost and cost benefit for us. So at the time, we had a directive to document every single part in our system in CAD format. So that was never the norm before. So we had to hire another detailer, and we had to go through an entire process to do this, as opposed to just getting the vendor's drawing and filing it. And then we have some vendors that we call catalog vendors who you just buy parts out of their catalog and you don't really have drawings for it. So with that directive that came down, I think I got the email that Andrew had contacted our guys at a show and hey, and then you guys
other business owners know when you hear an opportunity over here and you got a problem over here, you put the two together. So in this case, we were able to build all the solid models for our website, and then also have what we call presentation drawings. Andrew, I forget what you guys call. It's basically the ANSI blueprint, with our logo on it and the block of information in there, all that kind of stuff. So we said, hey, if we're going to do this, can we do this over here at the same time? And it was like, absolutely. So then I'm just doing the dollars and cents in my head. How much would it take or how much money would it cost and time would it take for my two detailers to detail every single part? And we were talking years, right? So the system that Andrew showed us in terms of how we could take our if you see up here on my wall chart, very hard to see. I hand did all of those part drawings over the course of about 8 years when I was a junior employee. That's that's Adobe Illustrator. It is not a CAD program. So we faked it till we made it, and then it was like, okay, no, we have to do this now. So yeah, I just had the opportunity of all of these benefits presenting themselves at once, and like I said, it would be almost stupid not to.
It's almost stupid not to. Dude, what a great line that is. So then we're top of the hour, guys. If you're just joining us, we've got Zach Kennedy, Mac Trailer. We've got Mike Rennie from Adaptability. We've got Andrew Hood from CADENA's Partsolutions. We're having a great conversation. Andrew, talk about when you and Mike first connected. And, Damon, he's just such a handsome, just a personal guy. Just when you meet him in person, you just can't, he's just so likable, right, Andrew? Tell your mom she did a great job with you. But when you met Mike for the first time, or when you captured an understanding of what's going on at Adaptability, some of these challenges, walk us through, what was your side of the story? What were you seeing where you guys could bring some value to help these guys be more competitive?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, it was our other product line, right, up in Canada, and I would say we've done it before. We've done it a number of times. We've helped manufacturers who have, simple couple different series with maybe a couple options to catalogs that have what's Masumi's website say, like of sextillion. The number is over a trillion part combinations. We have companies, suppliers who have series that have over 1 million different design options or SKUs available that you can buy off the shelf, right? So for us, it's pretty straightforward. Fittings, we've done a number of them in the past, and excited to get the guys at Adaptability going. And like Mike said, it's stupid not to do it, right? So I think that's what we're seeing in the industry. We've had a pretty big announcement this week as well, Automation Fair. At the Rockwell, we've announced them as well as a new vendor. They have a pretty big market share in the U.S. Right. And so we're excited about the new partnerships here in North America and getting more and more customers online and giving engineers what they're looking for.
Yeah. I absolutely love this. And what the great thing is, when you look at this conversation here, it's like this, it's greater. It's so much bigger than hey, we cut a cost, we reduce this. It's like, it's putting guys like Zach and Mike and their companies in such a much more competitive advantage. You guys are facing global competition. We're trying to be so much more competitive here in North America, rising costs, inflation, supply chain challenges, everything, labor shortage, everything that's going on. And my hat goes off to Zach, Mike, for you guys really rolling up your sleeves and embracing this new technology. Andrew, do we want to show anything? Do you have anything that you want to pull up and take a look at?
Well, yeah, I've got a few examples here.
David, what did you have?
I'll put them up there. I just want to tell people that are listening, if you haven't, get on the Adaptability site and look at the fittings and look at the choices and look through there. Because I was geeking out over here. You see me looking over. I'm just like, I got to stop doing it because I want to get to the point where it sends me a drawing, right?
Oh, thanks, Damon. Yeah, that will be coming soon. And
because it's these kind of configurators get me excited, because when you can. And Andrew, I don't see it where you're sharing it with us yet.
I will share it a second. Yeah. I'm going to show what I do for them.
This kind of stuff. And when you think about Mac Trailer, what you guys are doing, getting the parts down so you know what you got, so you don't have you understand everything and put it into a configurator. I literally I can't think of a piece of equipment that someone can't go in and be able to buy. I was on Haas, the vertical mill or the milling, machining, turning company the other day. You can buy it. You can configure a unit on their site and buy it right there. This is everywhere. This is mainstream. And I think, like I said, get on the Adaptability site and look at it. Yes, I'm an engineering nerd. I love this stuff. So
That's right. In the comments, I know, man, the chat box is on fire today, but I know I dropped Mike's LinkedIn profile, dropped Zach's, dropped Andrew's. You guys absolutely want to connect with these guys. But Andrew, if you want to, go ahead and hit that share button. We'll take a look at what you got.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Kelly.
Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, here we go. All right. So looking at, can you guys see my screen here?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so we have, this is our website here. I'm going to jump over to Adaptall and talk through what we're doing for them. So Mike, you mentioned those Illustrator drawings, right? Here's an example of, tell us more about this series, and I'll show them what's going to look like in the future. It's kind of before and after.
Yeah, so this is one of the most popular thread styles we do, and it's just a union. It's nothing crazy. We're literally starting at the bottom end of our SKUs, so 9,000. This would be 9,001. So this is basically our second sequential part series. And in here on this page, you can see various things. And this was a lot of work. So when we talk about building a database, guys, I think the spreadsheet that goes into this, and there's 4 spreadsheets deep to get to this page. It is, now we have 7,000 SKUs. Some of them are doubled and tripled up depending on what part of the website you go to. And I think we have 70 columns of data per part. So, and there's pricing in there. That's when you get into the portal for different customer classing. So over this part, we have side 1, side 2. There's spots in our database for side 3, side 4 when you get into T's and crosses and things like that. And then we just tag on that data in there. So this is the data that essentially I think we provided Andrew with. I got somebody helping me with this, thank God, because this is a mountain of work to do. And so yeah, we just have our side 1, side 2 kind of details there. We have thread standards, and then you see below that we have dimensions. Basically, how this works is any field that we populate on our website, it will show those. Fast forward to what we can do with Cadena's now. I mean, it's basically mirrored that database, but it's a lot more streamlined. So I'm not building one column at a time. I can grab a -20 BSP male 60 degree ISO, it'll be 9974 standard, and boom. So this is the ideal state that we're working towards. And I should point out that's like a draft version of our solid models. It's very simple compared to what we're seeing now in our, that's a lot simpler than what we're looking at. We now have like step up and down on the threads, or start chord, end chord. The hexes are contoured a little bit, like it looks like a real fitting you would see in front of you. So yeah, this was just a draft version that we used in the sales meeting, I think. So that's it. It's more of the same, but so we're not reinventing the wheel, really. It's data that we have in a database, and then it's not showing it here, but with the various drop downs, I mean, it's pretty logical. It's like, hey, I see this. I see what you have. Do you have 20 by 1.5 to 26 by 1.5? And if it's populated in our database, it will just be there as a drop down. Just like someone just gave an example of building, the Haas vertical mill.
Yeah.
Perfect example. And that's where we will eventually go with this, into building one from scratch. Not entirely sure how that's going to work yet. And then you could even do things like, will this part mate with that part? I actually just thought about that now. That's a question we get regularly, because sometimes one standard to the next, it's not apples to oranges. It's apples to oranges with, you just put this on it now. Now it's apples to apples, So again, we're just recreating the customer experience. There you go. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, that's that's a much better looking example. You can see with the actual, we even think the threads per inch is pretty accurate in there. So it's just, if I held the part up right in front of this, I mean, it's identical. So again, not reinventing the wheel, but streamlining things, making it easier for customers. And then, hey, there's the back end stuff as well that my guys really, really benefit from. I mean, if I have to send this to a vendor, and we used to do that, hey, vendor, can you make this part? And we give them a URL, and they go, yeah, we need more information than that. They can actually download this solid model, and away they go. So now we don't have the 10 touch points of communication just to get them an idea of what we need. So again, I could go on and on and on.
Well, And then the customer can download the data and use it right in their designs too.
Exactly. Yep. And it's that whole waiting process to find out about have compatibility verified, all of those things. It's instantaneous. And then you can even say it gives the layman a lot of power to solve their own problems. And that's when I say the whole pull style of sales, where or in marketing we call it the nag factor, if you want to call it that. But you'd have now end users specifically requesting brand names at the shop counter, which was certainly not normal in our industry unless you're talking about high-end, high-pressure fittings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so it helps us push our brand as well. Again, I could go on and on.
Right.
And on.
Well, this is absolutely phenomenal. I know we've got a few gals here today. She dropped a comment, data and digital, very powerful in manufacturing. Nicole asked a great question, and you could answer this. How does this impact site speed on the website? How's that?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing for a moment, and I'll answer the question here. Yeah, it doesn't slow it down, right? It doesn't get in the way, right? So we've had this question actually with another prospective customer looking at there's like this page speeds insights from Google, and I guess the report from that changes every other day. So my director of marketing was looking at that tool, and on our website it doesn't really affect us. It depends on how you call it up. We get into weeds there, but really it's not going to slow you down, right? It's all about customer experience. And what we see as a result of people using these configurators is time on page goes up. They're spending more time on your website. They're spending, they're getting more involved, getting to the actual SKU. And when it comes back to your, to the order process, they know exactly what to buy, right? Because they've spec'd it out already.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, man, we got some more Damon here. Says it should not have an impact, and then the cosmetic threads become a reality. It's a huge advancement for CAD. So, Mike, I love what you said about, hey, how do you convert those weaknesses? A weakness is nothing more than an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So just, I absolutely love what you guys are doing and how you're embracing this technology. So, all right, let's talk about what you're doing exactly at Mac Trailer. So you've reduced the parts dramatically. Andrew, anything else? And I know I want to be mindful of everybody's time here. Anything else that you want to chime in, or Zach, anything that you want to chime in on what you're super excited about and what Cadenas has done for you to help you become more competitive?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to take the lead here, Andrew, or I can. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was just going to say I want to show some more examples here at the tail end. Different examples, but go ahead. I'm excited, Zach, to see you guys using our solution within Team Center. But I'll let you kind of add your 2 cents.
Yeah, we're in the migration process right now, moving all our existing data into Team Center. So I think it's going to kind of blow our engineers' minds when not only they're going to have Team Center, but they're going to have this tool that also provides them with so much visibility into what's out there. And it's going to reduce their workloads on a daily basis, being able to find like parts. Right now, as we talked about, there's a lot of manual work that goes into engineering that doesn't have to be manual. The engineers now, because we have such a huge database, often spend hours out of their day looking for parts before they decide to draft a new one. And some of the functionality out of PartSolutions allows you to use tolerances to find like parts. So you could say something that's within 80% the same, or they could be drafting something up at a very basic level, and it can start finding things that are similar to that without having to put all that effort in. So it really is going to benefit not only our engineers, but all the downstream stuff that comes out of making those processes more efficient. I don't know if Andrew had anything else there.
Just a quick stat that I see, and Zach, maybe you can confirm this if I'm off base, but we see that if engineers can't find a part, I think one of us might need to mute here real quick, but if somebody can't find a part within the first 5 minutes, the engineer will just recreate it, right? So our goal is to keep engineers from doing that, right? So show them what's already out there without them having to actually find it themselves. Our CEO just shared a post today of Jürgen Heimbach of our live search, right? We can see within SolidWorks, Damon mentioned SolidWorks, you can see the actual parts that are already designed, But actually, you don't actually have to hit any buttons. It just shows up at the bottom of the screen. There it is as you're designing. So I'm excited about that savings for you guys.
And you're right. And that's prolific in any company. If you've got designers, if they can't find something similar, they're just going to start drawing because they know it's easier and faster to get that done because they want to be efficient. They're just going to design something new and go.
Hey, Damon, I think you've got some static or something coming from your microphone seems off. But anyway, so we've got some great comments. I think there was a couple of comments. We got Mike Franza has dropped a couple of comments. As a matter of fact, Mike, you should connect with Andrew. He's got a really exciting new program, new company coming out. So, Andrew, I'd love for you and Mike Franza to connect. Guys, keep an eye in the chat box here. So, all right, I want to start. We're going to start winding down. I know we can talk all day. I want to, Andrew, I want one last question that I want to throw at you, and then we'll start winding down. Configurators. So, for somebody out there, for a manufacturer, Damon, you were saying, like, you know, we feel strongly like we're very biased. Anything can be configured. Talk a little bit about like the config, like what are some exciting companies, industries? What are some configuring opportunities that you feel that are out there?
There's a bunch. I mean, do you mind if I show a quick 2 or 3 quick examples, Kurt?
Yeah, please do.
Some ones that are live. So let me go ahead and reorganize my screen here real quick, and I will show you some examples. So, yeah, and if you can mute while I'm presenting, I guess we can unmute for questions. I'm also hearing feedback as well, but that's all good. Okay, so, all right, so I've got some examples here. Let me hit share. All right, can you guys see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a great example of a current customer, and I can talk more about other ones that could be in the future for us, but these guys do a great job of explaining that they have CAD available, right? So they've got multiple places we can find their products, their CAD information. On their main page, they got the button that says 3D CAD library. You click on that button, it takes you right to their library all in one spot, what we support them with. And I'll show you an example of that here. And so here's like a rocker switch you might see on some electronic kind of components. I can select that particular series. And now I've got a 3D preview of my rocker switch, right? So here's a finished, this is a published live example, right? And I can see, I'm going to change the color of the switch from red to green. And I'm good to go, right? I'm done. There's my CAD rendering here. I can hit CAD download or a PDF download, right? So that's an example of a finished example there. Another one real quick is a caster company. So maybe you wouldn't think of casters as configurable, very simple kind of components you might think of in like a test cart or even a food stand or whatever, where I can configure this item, change the size. I get a new preview here on the right. I get new options. I can even add like a slide brake or a no brake at all to the caster wheel. My part number gets up to date. And then in this case, I can log in and then download the parts.
Cool.
When you can log in and create that information, it helps the manufacturer know who to reach out to follow up with, make sure that customer satisfied with that particular product design, and they can go and go from there, right? And so we start off with some things as simple as this, like as simple as a PDF catalog. Somebody gives us something like this with a simple little 2D drawing on the top right, and then that gives us the ability to create a catalog for them, right? So if I click on the example of a PDF, I can also get PDF, which we've seen this format grow the most in the past 5 years. We have all the different CAD formats out there: STEP, SolidWorks, Solid Edge, Creo, Inventor, all the different major CAD formats. But the most popular one is PDF, because not everybody has a CAD system today, right? You've got people in procurement or purchasing who need to access and view the item. And then here's an example of a 3D preview of that caster wheel inside of my PDF document, right? So this is a programmatic PDF document of this particular part number, right? So I've got a part number, I've got a description of the part. I scroll down, I have an automatically created 2D drawing as well in the PDF document. And so all this is shareable across the entire life cycle of the OEM buying these parts, and it's not just locked down to just CAD users.
Man, I'll tell you, that is cool. Hey, Damon, I think you're getting like maybe something's with your microphone or something. Seems like something's going on there. But anyway, Andrew, that was super powerful. That is absolutely awesome. So guys, anybody out there, and everything's configurable. And what we love talking about is like, how do you create that digital self-service experience? What we love talking about is, for that ideal buyer, they need to make a buying decision on a Friday night at midnight. How do you help them so they don't have to wait for you to open up your doors on a Monday morning? So Zach, as we wind down, let me come back to you. So first off, I want to thank everybody on this panel for taking, I know you guys are super busy. Thank you for joining us today. But Zach, let's close things out. What I'd love to hear is, how do you embrace a culture of, how do you create a culture of embracing technology and really conquering this challenge that you face? Talk a little bit about that culture at Mac Trailer as we close out. Are you on mute?
Yep, I was on mute. Sorry. So I think working at Mac Trailer makes that easy. We have a pretty innovative approach to things. We try to kind of stay ahead of the curve as much as we can. I think that's what made us successful. We're always willing to try new stuff, and I think that's I don't know if you ever heard the mantra, fail fast, win big. You're not gonna find out if something works unless you're trying it. So there's always calculated risks in what you're looking at, but when you have a problem and you're kind of in a rock and a hard place, you start looking out there and you get creative, and that's how a lot of the best things happen, I think. And I think it's always important, especially for IT teams. It's that's my realm, is don't back down from a challenge. Be ready for something new, because you're often going to learn things while you're doing it that are going to help you in other areas. And you just gotta keep your nose to the grindstone, keep moving forward, and don't fret over the failures that you have, because hopefully they've all been a learning experience. So.
Wonderful learning experiences. I agree 100%. Mike Rennie, my friend, talk about, like, you've created a culture of embracing that technology. Company's been around for decades. How, for a small manufacturer out there, how do you create that culture of adapting change? We want to stay away from that. This is how we've always done it. How do you create that environment at your company?
Honestly, I go back to the pride everyone has here as a manufacturer. And yes, we only manufacture about 30% of our product by volume, but it's the real specialized stuff. And it's the things that get people really excited. And I think they see my excitement too. When I go out and see a manufactured part that's come in, and we get to see it and touch it finally, like it's quite honestly, guys, it's a major passion, and if that rubs off on other people, great, because I have other people here that are the same. The guy who runs our customer service team in Mississauga is also our technical lead, and that was by design. That was on purpose. Our engineer is the head honcho at our manufacturing facility, not a production manager, and we did that on purpose. We're a manufacturer first, maybe not by volume, but certainly by mentality. Right. And that just gets everyone excited. And, we're not bringing in things, and not to knock distributors, because we are, like I said, 70% of our items are in and out wholesaled, but it's not hard to instill passion in people when they're involved in something like this.
Andrew, I'm coming at you with the same question. So even as a technology company, you're like, well, of course we're on the forefront, but it can be very easy to become complacent. So I'm going to throw this question at you twofold. How do your team create that culture, that sense of urgency to stay on fire, to create these wonderful competitive advantages for your clients? And secondly, any advice that you have for those small manufacturers on there to help continue embracing new technology to stay competitive?
Yeah, I think there's just as far as our team here at Cadena's and that passion for manufacturing, I think we hire from experience, right? We hire, even if you're not experienced, we give opportunities to learn that, right? For example, last week we went to a tour Festo facility here in Mason, Ohio, right? Big customer of ours globally. We got to see how they do their entire, logistics and shipping, and they had a big three-story level tower feed system, right, for their stock. It was really quite a sight to see, right? Seeing that. So giving our employees time or chances to see and experience their suppliers, get in front of people, go do a shop tour, see the facility. Actually, I haven't had a chance to see Zach's facility. I got to go up there after the new year. And then get, from there, just what we've done going forward is just continue to, look at our customers, listening to them and their experiences, right? So you can pull a passion from that. So again, I've learned for myself as a design engineer what I did not like to do, right? I didn't necessarily like doing design work myself, but I like working with shops and getting manufacturing going and seeing the results they can see from the technology that's available to them, right? So my background in sheet metal, I can think of some other types of shops that could utilize these configurators. It could be as simple as 3 drop downs, 3 options. You get a visualization, and then your engineering group is no longer involved in creating drawings or anybody. It's all automatic. And so it could be really simple. I could just have a job shop where I'm doing laser cutting and straight break bending, and I could have automation on my website. That's simple.
Yep. I think it's just a matter of time before even the smallest manufacturer will have some type of configurator.
Yeah.
Hey, before we close, we have a great question here from Mike Damon. I don't know if you want to pull it up.
Yep, I
Mike
will.
Bosher. Mike, thank you. And again, everybody, I know we're coming to time. Thank you for joining us. What a great session. Would love to hear your thoughts on a couple of things. First one is design authority. Is the vendor the design authority? Looks like a good example with Adaptability fittings or international standards that threads, A lot of companies don't fully specify the hardware they're purchasing. Andrew or anybody on the stage, you want to take that question?
Yeah, I'll start off, and I want Mike to kind of give his thoughts as well. Sure. But from our perspective at Cadena's, we work with a lot of suppliers and manufacturers directly. Mike mentioned some distribution. The challenge you see with distributors is they don't have access to that CAD drawing per se, right? So they can't give that authority. And standards organizations like ISO, like DIN, like ANSI and ASME have recommendations for different part types. And yes, you can say specification met, this one, right? And we actually, as an aside, we actually partner with some of those standards bodies directly. We partner with ASME, NAS, AIA, like the aerospace standards, and SAE-AS standards directly with them to create online 3D catalogs as part of our partnership with S&P Global. But that's a whole different category. But when it comes to the authority, really, we try to work with the manufacturer directly. And what we provide to the customer is a sales model, form, fit, and function model, right? It's not something you can manufacture from, but you can spec it into your design and make the purchase. Go ahead, Mike, if you add your 2 cents to that as well.
Yeah, and Andrew touched on fit, form, and function. That's everything in our industry. So to answer your question, Mike, no, there's nothing proprietary about our threads at all. It's heavily standardized, ISO and DIN. So just to hold up a fitting here, for example, thread 1, thread 2, heavily standardized. Even the length of each thread, even the bore through. The only thing that's not standardized here, and it causes all the problems, is the hex width. And one could deduce a hex standard from the min on each side, as well as the length of the hex. Guess where all the problems happen?
Yeah.
Well, this is why, and this is a good thing for us, and where we organize all that chaos with now the solid models, is because that overall length gets adjusted by the hex length, and then you have impedance or just restrictions, and it might be just wrenching the part. You might not have clearance to do it. So this is where we see a big advantage from this, and it's a big inherent problem in our industry is people just ordering by SKU. I need this shape, this size, and then a certain percentage of the time we'll get returns because it doesn't fit their application, and that's almost always OEM.
Yep.
So
And I'm sorry, Mike. And what I absolutely love what you said earlier. It's everything. This hour just flew by. I can't believe how fast it went. But the whole theme today is make it as easy as humanly possible to do business with you, and you're going to win. You're going to be in business for, even Mac Trailer, like you're saying, Zach, we're relatively younger. It's still almost 30 years. You're coming up on a 30-year anniversary. It's decades of success by making it as easy as humanly possible to do business with you. And we've just saw a wonderful, powerful example what's going on at Adaptall. And again, these solutions are just incredible. They are everywhere. They partnering, aligning yourself with a subject matter expert, trusted guides like companies like a Cadenas. Andrew and his team can just put you in such a, what a great example here. Boy, we have Bonnie here today, Damon. So Bonnie dropped a note. Hey guys, been a while. So she's here today. So I'm going to close on this. We'll go rapid fire.
Yep.
Hey, I think there's a holiday next week. I think here in the States it's Thanksgiving. And so I'm going to go around. Bonnie, you had a wonderful post dedicated to her father last night. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving and our dear friend Bonnie here today, I'm going to pose our last question today on gratitude. Zach. So, hey, first off, Zach, our gratitude to you. Everybody, let's give a round of applause for Zach today. A little round of applause here. And so, Zach, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to share with us all the exciting things going on at Mac Trailer. What are you thankful for? What are you grateful for? Share a little bit of what's going on with you. And then, Mike, I'm coming to you next.
I'm thankful for my health, and it seems like everyone here's healthy and doing well. And, family, obviously, I'm here because of my family. They drive me a lot, but I'm also really thankful for my team, my team at work, and the opportunities I've had, and to be able to talk to you guys, the successes I've had. I got a lot to be thankful for this year, as I do most years. But I'm excited for the holiday season, and thankful to be here. So.
That's awesome, Zach. And hey, we can't wait to have you back on because we want to see what new heights you guys are taking Mac Trailers. And this is just so awesome. Wonderful, great manufacturer here in the United States, but here in Ohio. Mike, coming to you, my friend. What we're talking gratitude, thankfulness. Yeah. What are you thankful for in your world?
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I wish all my American friends there happy Thanksgiving next week. We did have our Canadian one last month, but no, very thankful again for same as Zach. Thankful for family and our work family here as well. Anybody within our family knows there's been a couple of challenges with health and passings and stuff like that this year. So that's the kind of stuff that really hurts at the end of the day. And I'm happy to be playing every day with people that I have a ton of fun with. A lot of it's very satisfying, and that's it. I really have a lot to be thankful for, and I work with great people every day.
Well, thank you, man. And I'll tell you, I respect, admiration for our manufacturers. Our manufacturers are truly the heroes of our economy, the backbone, just manufacturing great products that you guys are shipping other places. Andrew, my friend, let's close it out. Gratitude. What are you thankful for, my friend, as we come into Thanksgiving next week?
Yeah, I'm just grateful for a lot of the same things, family, faith, health, the team I have behind me, and the team I'd say we see in general in manufacturing, right? So the industry itself is very open to working with each other. I think we all see the greater macro challenges, and it kind of opens the door a little bit more to work with each other. And so I'm grateful for all those things.
Well, that is awesome. So, all right, I'm going to close out with this. So, Andrew, on your LinkedIn profile, somebody typed this about Andrew. Intently dedicated to the needs of others. And I think that's exactly what the program was about today. It's like we're just here, just supporting each other, helping each other. Obviously, we're here to make a living. But, man, just what an inspirational session this was. So, guys, thank you, everybody in the chat box. Whitney, Mike, Jamon, Bonnie, Whitney, Nicole, all of you guys that were here today. Diane Byer was here. Saw that, Damon. Dan Bigger, John Buglino. Kelly was dropping all sorts of great information. So, guys, you want to please connect with Mike here on LinkedIn. You want to connect with our friend Zach Kennedy. You want to connect with Andrew Hood. If you want to take this conversation further, they would love to geek out and take this and share their stories on, if you're out there, you're considering e-commerce, you're considering a configurator. Boy, you got three great experts here. That are driving force. Ingor's here today. She's our friend to the north. She's a Canadian here, Mike. So Gail's here today. She's a Canadian. So, hey, this is just a great, great opportunity. So we're going to close things out. I'm grateful for this panel discussion. I'm grateful for family, faith, just like you said, Andrew. Damon, what a gift and blessing this was today. So I want to, Andrew, thank you for putting this party together. And I'll tell you, the party they threw together at the Industrial Marketing Summit in Cleveland, the guys at Cadena just really know how to take care of customers. They're dedicated to customer success, and you guys have just built that culture all around it. Our hats off to you. So Damon, let's close it out, my friend. Take it away. What are you thankful for today?
All right. Now I switched microphones. So can you, does it sound okay now?
Sounds
Good.
much
Good.
better than before.
You know, I'm thankful just to be able to do what I do and hang out here and talk to people that are so smart. I listen to these people, these great manufacturers and Mac Trailer and Adapt All. And I tell you, get on both their websites. It's cool stuff. Play with the fitting stuff on Adapt All. It's just really fun. And grateful to be able to talk to these talented people, Andrew, and what CADENAS Partsolutions is doing. You guys are changing the game. Changing the game, because manufacturers, when you make it easy for your customers to buy, you're going to sell more and you're going to have happier customers. So, you know, I'm just happy to be able to do what we do, Kurt, every week when we're out here for the manufacturing e-commerce success. I don't know how the heck we get all these great people to stop by and talk to us, but we're going to keep doing it until we are. Because you know what? We do actually on the 2nd of December, we've got a big milestone for us. It is episode 100.
Oh, is it? It's number 100. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun. Huh? And Andrew,
congratulations.
And thank you. And Andrew Hood, you know who our very first guest was our mutual dear friend, the one and only Jeff Long. So Jeff Long was our absolute first guest. I was with Jeff Long when I met Andrew in Cleveland. And so what a dear friend he is. Fierce advocate for manufacturers, doing a great job with video. So guys, thank you. Wish everybody an amazing, happy Thanksgiving next week. Damon, we're back live on Monday, and we'll catch everybody. Have a wonderful, amazing weekend.
Yeah, thanks guys.
So much,
we appreciate it.
Yes.
Great meeting
We'll be back again. Bye.
Yep.